Hello everyone and welcome back to Lux and Wine. I am so excited to finally be sharing my part 2 of my Bandeau video. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. If you give this video a thumbs up, it also really helps my channel. YouTube really likes it when videos have a lot of thumbs up. And don't forget to leave me a comment down below letting me know what your favorite Bandeau style is. And if you have any requests or have questions about something you saw on my Instagram that wasn't shown today, I can definitely clarify that for you. So I did this video originally, I think in 2019, like late 2019, I shot a Bandeau styles video. Since then, I've done a lot more styles. A lot of the styles that I've done on my Instagram are in that video, but I still get tons of questions of people asking how I did things. So today, I'm not gonna be repeating anything from that video. There is one variation, this one right here, that is basically a variation that's very similar to what I showed in that video, but the majority of these are entirely new styles. Some of them include techniques from that video. So if you haven't seen that video, I highly suggest watching that video first if you're a beginner with bandeaus. Now, if you've been working with bandeaus for a while, then this is gonna be a great video for you because these are some of my more advanced styles that involve a lot of twisting, a lot of tying, knotting, looping. It gets crazy. I actually originally considered calling this one like just chains and braids because that's what a lot of this is. So you'll also get to see some new bandeaus. I've actually acquired a few new bandeaus since I last shot my original bandeau video. Now I'm not gonna go through every bandeau, but I did wanna show you guys really quick the storage that I've been using. So this is a set of acrylic drawers and I will link them down below. I found these on Amazon and I'm gonna link the specific one that I got below because I thought they were really affordable, but still really nice quality. And they have a removable velvet lining and they're perfect for, you can go 3 across with the wide bandeaus, or I honestly can overlap them slightly so I can still see every single bandeau and fit like, I think I've fit so far about 8 across. Of course, a lot of them are in use right now. So a lot of my bandeaus are currently in use, so this isn't full, but I really like being able to see them and see them all at the same time. So I highly recommend if you have bandeaus or other accessories, this is some great storage. And if you haven't already, so many of you enjoyed my previous bandeau video, but are not subscribed to my channel. So if you would, I really, really appreciate it. It would mean so much to me if you would subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out and it lets me know that you like this kind of content, and also it helps support the channel. Also, make sure if you see something that you like, when you use the links, they do help my channel as well. And if one of those links doesn't work, do please let me know and I will send you an updated one and update it for you. This bandeau style is one that actually was inspired by Manny. So those of you that don't know, my associate with LV for how many years now? Years. This was actually his idea. We were having a conversation about some bandeau styles and he said something about incorporating it with a chain or my bag charm. I can't remember the exact conversation. I was like, oh, let me try something like that. And I came up with this and I actually showed it on Instagram when I did it with a different bandeau. Basically, I started with my bag charm. So I'm gonna do a close up and you're gonna get to see how I did this. What you're gonna do is you're gonna start at the top where you're gonna wanna start with the actual bow. This makes life a lot easier, especially if you're like me and you struggle with bows. So you're gonna start with about the bandeau in half and pull it through the top loop of whatever bag charm you're using. And then you're gonna make your bow. You're gonna like knot it and make a bow. And then you're gonna start twisting it around the chain in between the charms. The more times you twist it, the shorter your tail is gonna be on the end. Most of the charms I only wrapped in between one time. And I think when I got towards the end, I did a double right on the end to get a shorter tail. When you get to the tail, then you're gonna loop it through the end of your bag charm to kind of cover up that clasp to kind of make it look like the charms are hanging off the bandeau. And then you're gonna tie a knot. You wanna make sure that when you pull the back of the bandeau off, that's the part of the bandeau with your label, and then that's gonna be facing the back. So then you end up with this beautiful chain bandeau style. I love this one on my Neverfull. Any bag that has hardware on the front and side or 2 pieces of hardware you can loop onto. You technically could put this across the front of a speedy also. But I do think that I just really like the way that this one looks kind of off center. I think this would be really cute on the bum bag, but I personally did this on the Neverfull, and I really felt like that did this design justice. So many people have Neverfulls, so I think it's really great if you can customize yours and make it look different from everybody else's. Okay, so this next one is super simple, and I'm just gonna talk about it because it's right there in front. This is just a half wrap and a bow. This is really easy. I showed a lot of styles very similar to this in my first video, but I still get a ton of questions on Instagram about this style. So I'm gonna just show this one really quick. And because it's double-sided, that's the only thing I think that gets tricky with these and makes them look more complicated than they are, is when you are doing the half wrap or have a double-sided bandeau, just remembering to twist it and kind of taking that into consideration whenever you're doing this style. I'm actually gonna be using this one that I got. It's a newer BB bandeau, which I love. I think it's really cute, but I thought it would look really nice and it would be easier to see with this white. For some reason, I did get some comments that the 1854 bandeau on this one, it made it look like it was more complicated than it is, but it is definitely not. So I just have the bandeau in half right here, and I do a wrap. Like I said, this is a lot like what I did in my previous video, really nothing fancy. So just a half wrap and a tie. And this is a lot easier with a BB bandeau when you're doing smaller bags and smaller straps and half styles. Now I'm gonna flip to this side. So, you know, when you're working with a double-sided bandeau, this is where you can really make that flip happen and make a really unique look that looks a lot more complicated than it is. The only thing you wanna do if you're double-siding it like this is when you do this part over, then instead of going through like this, which would end up with having your white side, you have to kind of put it through and then twist on the way out the back so that it stays on the side you're wanting to feature. Kind of over pull it and then take it back to your desired bow size. And then once you got your bow to your liking, you know, you can also, if you don't want this kind of one longer than the other, you can do an extra wrap around here. I don't mind. I think it kind of makes it look cute, a little bit more imperfect, and you still get to see both sides of the bandeau. So I really like the contrast that that one brings. And it's super simple. It's literally just wrap, tie, bow. And then of course you can also do the one loop like I've done in the past. But that's the other style I had to show you guys. And this is actually one of my newest, not the newest, but it's one of my newer ones. I got this one, I think, late fall. It was supposed to be out last summer, but due to, again, things going on in 2020, this launch was actually delayed, but I did finally get my hands on it and I love it. I think it's so cute. I love a good black and white. I thought it might be too similar to the Monogram Confidential, but this is the Monogram Confidential. First of all, this is a BB bandeau, and then this is a regular bandeau. They have basically the same coloring, but I do think that they still look really different. And I think that having a couple of BB bandeaus in my collection really makes the styles that I can do slightly more versatile. That more narrow silk is so much easier to work with when you're trying to do more intricate styles. So I highly recommend if you don't have a BB bandeau already. And so that was that style, and I hope you guys like that. Something easy in this video. That one's definitely my go-to whenever I'm wanting to do something really quick, but I don't have a lot of time. I don't usually do something like this on my bags that have vachette handles because that will make them kind of sun unevenly. I mainly do this one on the Alma because I don't have to worry about oxidization of the handle. And so I can do a half wrap and it's not a big deal. So we're just gonna keep going across the top. So this one I showed you guys on Instagram actually with the red 1854 bandeau. So this is another one of my newer bandeaus, the 1854. I actually got all three colors of the 1854 because I loved it so much. I remember when I saw this collection, I was really not sure and I kind of felt like it was trying to be Dior, but I was so wrong. When I saw these and when I saw the collection later in person, it is stunning. And I know some people were concerned about like the fact that it's fabric. Fabric and the embroidery is so well done. Like it does not feel delicate at all. It feels like it's gonna last a long time. And also, since I've had my Fendi that you guys have seen before, I'm getting a lot more comfortable with like fabric bags and learning how to clean them and care for them. And so the fabric just does not scare me like it used to. This bag, or this style, I did with the blue and the black. When you guys saw it on Instagram, you saw it with the red and the black. So I just switched it up because I liked how the red looked in this style. But this one is, again, it looks more complicated than it is, but it's basically a regular wrap and then a second bandeau comes in, a braid and a bow. I have been doing, in this video, you'll see a lot of these kind of faux bows where I have the flap over this. I just think it's so much easier than trying to do the tuck to have no tails in your bows. But I really, really like this style. And so I did this one, like I said, for the grand reopening of the boutique in Dallas. In the Dallas North Park Louis Vuitton boutique, they actually demolished the original store. And I think there were 2 other stores next door to it, but they took the entire kind of section and made one giant store. And now there's ready to wear, which they didn't have before, a beautiful jewelry section. And Manny's actually in jewelry now. He's no longer in like leather goods and handbags. So if you're looking for like the high jewelry, Manny's your guy. Definitely let me know. I'll put you guys in touch. So I got to see him in the jewelry department, and the men's, they have men's there now, men's ready to wear. I mean, it's a beautiful store. I showed you guys all the photos from that trip when I got my Alma, and it was so great. Which, by the way, oh my gosh, love this bag. This is a really, really great, like, this time in our lives bag. Really love it. So durable. Don't have to change it with the weather. Can do whatever with bandos. Got my chain strap. And side note, I absolutely love it with this strap, which there's my other. This actually is such a cute combo with the Speedy and the 1854 strap. If you have a lot of Louis Vuitton bags, or even just 3 or 4 and you don't have a strap, it's a really great investment. It really makes you feel like you're wearing a different bag and all you did was change the strap. Big difference, highly recommend, great investment. Okay, so for this one, you're gonna need 2 bandos. Since I have 3 of the 1854 bandos, these I think look really good together. I actually do wish I hadn't used the red one earlier because I think the red and black looks the best, but I haven't used the blue one yet. So we're gonna go on ahead and use these. I'm gonna take the side with the label so that it's hidden. This one, you're gonna want to try and keep as much of it as possible. I also think these are a little bit easier to wrap if you kind of do them in half like this and just wrap it like we would any other bandeau style that involves handle wrapping. But the nice thing about doing it with the side that had the label on it is that now you don't have to deal with the label again. And once you get here, you're gonna wanna do your standard loop, kind of as if we were gonna do a bow, only this is where you're gonna add in the second bandeau. So now you're gonna take your bandeau kind of like this in half. They're not gonna be exactly, this is definitely gonna be slightly longer, but you can kind of fix it as you're going along. So I'm gonna take this through the loop, the hardware here, a little less noticeably, so that it's like it's been here all along. You're basically gonna do this kind of like a 3-strand, like you're braiding. Now the one trick to this to kind of keep it looking a little bit cleaner is instead of coming over like that to where the folds are on top, you wanna kind of twist it so that this fold is on top and the 2 pieces are on the bottom, and that'll make it look a little cleaner as you're going along. Okay. And get your color accent in there. Go down kind of as far as you want to. So if you have enough here, if you stop a little shorter, you can use this to make your bow like I did in the photo. But because I'm not really wanting to do that this time, I'd prefer that to just hang down. I'm actually gonna use this piece. I want the writing to be out. So I'm gonna take this as my loop, and then I'm gonna use this to go over this other side, because then this tag will hide behind the other loop. My bow there. And this bow, again, is going to be like, could be bigger or smaller depending on how much you braid. Do some more floofing once you've got it fluffed to your liking. And so that is my braided Speedy style. So this one is very similar to a style that I did on my dummies or Speedy as far as like the way the chain is knotted. It's really easy. It's just a knot chain and a little knot at the end. But because again, this is a BB bandeau, so it's a little bit more narrow, it really makes it look more intricate than it is. I actually wore this with this style on it, I think on a different trip. I think I wore this last summer to a trip to Louis Vuitton, but I absolutely love this one. This summer's bandeaus are so different from last year's. I'm definitely feeling like I want to pick up one of the colors from this summer, but I thought this one was so cute. So I'll show you guys this style. Again, you're going to put the bandeau through the loop, and then it's going to be in even halves. I'm going to be using the red side like I used in the photo. It's a nice, cute, summery look. This one is almost exactly like the way I do most of my chains, like I showed on the Speedy 25 in my last video. So you're literally just going to tie it. And you can make it as kind of tight or as loose as you want it until you get to your desired length. This is my favorite way to do these. It's a lot easier than what I showed on the Polene bag because it's a little bit more adjustable, it's a little bit more forgiving, and it's just a lot easier to do quickly too if you don't have a lot of time and you're just trying to do something cute. Some of these other ones are more of a commitment, more of a time and skill commitment. All right, I think we're almost there. And then once you get here, put this on the outside zipper so that it would be, it wouldn't actually affect me using the bag because you really only have to use one zipper to open the bag. So keep that in mind when you're doing stuff connecting to a zipper or something that might keep you from being able to open the bag. All right, so we're gonna take the side that doesn't have a label. If you take your labels off, then it won't really matter, but I leave mine on usually for a little bit. Just hard to keep up with them once they're detached. Tie that, make sure my label's down. Go. And again, if you want this a little shorter, you can always just keep going and add more knots. That's that one. And guys, I just think this is absolutely just so cute. I think the bum bag really gives you a lot to play with. You guys have also seen me do styles on here because this is basically the same as the Pochette Matisse as far as like being able to put bandeaus on here too. Really great option. I would definitely recommend, like you can do it both ways. I would not do 2 bandeaus on this because I think it just gets too heavy, too busy, but I really do like how it looks with a bandeau here, which I think I did in one of my fall shoots on Instagram. And then I also really love this. And because I did this, as you guys noticed, I did this on the back zipper. You can still use this zipper and get into the bag without messing with your bandeau. So I think that works out really well. This bag is also really great for bag charms. So you can attach a charm to here and here. Really great option. This last one I have to show you is the Polene bag. This bandeau style, I could not remember how I did this because this is one that really only works for this particular bag. It's not one that I've been able to really do this type of style on any other bag styles because specifically of the space between here and here and the fact that that's the only way to have enough to do this. And this was a very loopy one. And honestly, I still don't feel like it's quite as clean as the one that I actually did that day. Like I was just on it the day that I created this one. So I did my best to kind of recreate how I remembered I did it. Raise your hand if you like do a style and you tie something once and then you don't remember how you tied it. I have to do these videos more frequently, so because I forget how I did things. I'll show you guys how I did this one. So we've got our chain over the top here, and the first loop is kind of the tricky part. You're gonna have it in half, and you're gonna make your loop, and then you're gonna wrap it and bring your loop through, your next loop. And as you're doing this, you're gonna kind of tighten behind yourself. Okay, and then now you're gonna bring the piece from the back, and then that becomes your next loop. And then the front becomes your next loop. And then the back comes your next loop. And then get to the end, take your piece all the way through so that you can fluff before you move on to the bow. Here's where I'll go through and I'll kind of tighten each one of these. I tried to tighten as I went along, but sometimes it just doesn't end up as tight and then you don't end up with enough for your bow. So now I'm going to tie this to the other side of the chain, kind of secure it. It's going to be a very small bow. The bow is going to be really tight. Now I think in the one that I did on Instagram, the tails were actually tucked, but because this is such a short bow, it's honestly a lot easier to just have your tail sticking out, but over this part of the bow, so it almost looks like it's a tailless bow. So if you didn't have enough, you could just do this, but it does look okay kind of laying on top of the actual back part of the bow. And that's how that one looks. And then of course, if you don't like the way something looks when it's on or when you're wearing it, you can also use those little magnets that I've shown before, and you can magnet these pieces together or fix a funky bow or hide these little labels, however you want to do it. I think this style this is so cute. And if you have a Polene bag and you haven't messed around with bandeaus on it, I highly, highly recommend it because it's such a fun bag. If you wanted to, you could put a bandeau through these loops and take the straps out style since the strap is a toggle. You guys have seen me wear my Louis Vuitton bag charm on this bag. But anyways, I think it's also just really conducive to a nice style this way. I just think it looks really good. And I also love the way the blue looks on it, which is why I went on ahead and used the same bandeau that I used in that photo because I thought it was just so cute. But y'all know I love my Polene bag, especially this one. This was just a really fun style. I hope that helped you guys out. I know that one again wasn't quite as user-friendly as some of the other styles. I did my best, y'all. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. And again, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you like videos like this. It really helps out my channel. So does your subscription. Your subscription is so valuable. And you know what? It's free. In case there was any confusion about that, it's free. But it obviously does help my channel to have a certain number of subscribers, really trying to get to that 1,000 mark. So if you do subscribe, I really, really appreciate it. And don't forget to leave me a comment down below. So all of the bandeau styles that I've shown today have been on my Instagram for a long time. If you haven't already, don't forget to follow me over on Instagram because that's always where you're gonna see whatever I'm doing. I'm on stories almost every day. I haven't been posting on a really regular schedule because in all honesty, I'm not really going anywhere. It's still at least about 4 or 5 more months before I return to regular work in person. So pretty much bandeau styles that I do to go to the grocery store are about what it is right now. If you have any requests, if you see anything cool, if you'd like to know how to do anything, or if you have any ideas, just let me know in the comments down below. I'd really love it because I have so many bandeaus and I'd love to get inspired and try new things. So thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you next time. Bye everyone.